Welcome to Stay Positive Podcast. I'm Eve, the founder and CEO of Stay Positive. Stay Positive is a company that promotes mental health awareness through our app. The Android app is almost done, so it's gonna be out soon. But we have our store, which is currently available, and I'm gonna have the link below. So I am recording this podcast to share my journey with you, to encourage you in yours. And today I will be sharing my testimony and how I got closer to God. I started to be curious. I used to see him doing Bible studies. I used to see him just spending late nights in the living room and just praying and just talking to God. And I'm like, what is he doing? It was more of a curiosity of me just trying to understand what exactly he's doing and why, but not entirely because I was judging him. No. So at that moment, I started asking him questions. I started asking my roommate, like, what is he doing this? And it was exactly with him that I started doing Bible study and actually having a Bible, a physical Bible, and just studying it, because before I didn't really care about it, and I started growing my relationship with God. So at that moment, I started asking him questions. I started asking my roommate, like, why is he doing this? And it was exactly with him that I started doing Bible study and actually having a Bible, a physical Bible, and just studying it, because before I didn't really care about it, and I started growing my relationship with God. I involved everything that I had, that I was doing. I wanted to include God. I remember one time he started explaining to me about secular music, and I didn't know what exactly it was. So it wasn't until that point I started noticing that, yes, definitely what you surround yourself with can definitely shape who you are in the end of the day. So at that moment, since I was already growing my relationship with God, it got to the point where I was at peace with everything. As I said it before, I generally suffer from anxiety and I overthink a lot, especially when things are out of my hand of the day. So 1 year before my graduation, I started applying for jobs. 1 year, yes. First it was internships and then jobs. I ended up getting one internship. And the way I did an interview. I think it was on Tuesday, and then Wednesday I was getting the call saying that I got the internship. But once they found out I was an international student, they were like, we have to resend the offer. And it was hard. I really cried because I knew that this would be my last chance to actually do an internship. But it ended up that I didn't get any internship. So when I noticed that time was running out, not actually running, because they were like, we have to resend the offer. And it was hard. I really cried because I knew that this would be my last chance to actually do an internship. But it ended up that I didn't get any internship. So when I noticed that time was running out, no, I could be running because our timing is not God's timing. Timing is not really running out. So I was applying for like every position to work as a software engineer, and I could get coding assessments or pass to the second stage, but it wasn't. I couldn't really get something more than that, which is stopping at that point. And I was at that time I was working as a student research assistant, and I asked them like, is it okay if I stay in this job until I find another job after I graduate? Like I could convert to full time employee instead of part time. And they said no. They said no, which is completely fine. I had to accept. I didn't push really on it. I really just asked once. But also the job was giving me it was very uncertain at some point. So I knew that like if it's meant for me, God will make it a way. Um as I said, I was at that point where I'm like, I am covered. God is going to take care of everything that is out of my control. And if I'm being honest, majority of those jobs that I was applying for, I wasn't really excited. And that's one thing that I learned about me. If I'm not excited about something, I'm not gonna want to do it. Because for me, it's more than just a job. Yes, for me, like I wake up literally every day like, to go to that place. So I need to enjoy what I'm doing. I need to be excited about it. So majority, if not all of those jobs were jobs that I was not really interested in it. And when I actually started like putting one plus one together, that's when I was like, oh, it's okay. It is fine. God is going to bring the one from me. So 2 weeks, I think it was 2 weeks before Christmas, and that was right after my graduation. I received one email from a recruiter. It was very random. Yes, I did apply for that position, but it had been probably 2 months, if not 3 months. So at that point, when I was like, this job is not coming. Yeah, because in the job market, when you don't get an answer, it most definitely means that nothing, nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. So I got an email from the recruiter, and it was asking me when exactly I could be able to meet up with him just to discuss more about the position and how the interviews would go by. And the funny thing was that that day, that exactly day that I received that email, it was exactly the day that my current manager was telling me to return my laptop. And 2 hours later, I received this email from the recruiter. And I got the job, which was the only one job that I got at the time. So I decided to take it. After graduation, someone from the past came back. They decided to come back when everything is fine. Everything is fine. Mind you, I was a devil word. It is what it is. I don't got a job. I don't have a job right after graduation, but God is covering me, so I think it's going to be fine. And that's exactly when the devil decides to come in. Because the devil, one thing that you have to know is the devil shows up in form of people as well. And being that I was in a stage where the only thing really missing was a romantic relationship, and at a point where I knew that it was missing. I'm pretty much good at everything. I mean, I used to be. That's not the perspective that I have anymore. I used to be good at everything, but not at romantic relationships. They never lasted at all. They never lasted. So then I shut up, and me being a hopeless romantic and thinking that everyone can change. They can change, but not for you and not for the right reasons. So I ended up just giving it a chance. And I moved to a different city for the new job. And that's when everything just went downhill. I got distracted. My relationship was not with God was not the same as it was before. So yeah, I was just back to being lukewarm. I put this relationship above God. And even when it was not peaceful, I remember one time we pretty much ended up like we had a breakup, I would say. Yeah. We had a breakup and normally I would cry myself to go to sleep. But that day, I didn't cry. I actually had the best night I had ever had in so long because the them was no longer in my life. So I was at peace. Because one thing that our body feels, um, it tends to feel when something is catchy before we actually capture. Because we as human beings, we tend to just hope for something and have expectations. Then we start ignoring what our body is saying. So at that moment, I was already like, I wasn't extremely happy with the relationship. I wasn't happy with the relationship and it wasn't bringing me any peace at all. But because it was the only romantic relationship that I had, and I was thinking that I could actually last as long as I do everything and even put it above God. I was letting them in stay in my life when it should have been gone a long time ago, gone. But no. So 2 months into my new job, I got laid off. Yes, I got laid off. It was so random. I was just waking up and I'm receiving a phone call from my coworker. And I'm like, why is she calling me this early? It's too early. At that time, I used to go to the gym at 4 a.m. Yes, 4 a.m. So I'm like, why is she texting me this early? No. No. Yeah, don't text me that early. But she was very much asking me to check my email. So when I checked my email, that's what I saw. I got laid off. I got laid off. And for the first 2 weeks, it was pretty much a shock just because I had pretty much gotten everything that I truly wanted in that I had on my vision board. I moved into my first apartment and I was living by myself. Yes, I enjoyed. I truly enjoyed living alone. I got my car. I got a job. I had a boyfriend. So, job was gone. I still had my car. But 2 weeks later, the boyfriend said, and I was like, you broke up with me, like, and I was just like, damn, what is wrong with you? Because why would you break up with me when I don't have a job? Like, why? But it's okay, because that man was not my man. Was not in his, he is not, he's not. So, since I didn't have a job, I decided to actually put a routine, a productive routine. I truly enjoy being very productive. Even on my Sabbath days, I enjoy being productive. Productivity is going to look different in that day, in my rest day, but I'm still gonna be productive. So I put on a routine so that I can have something to look forward to when I wake up and I just be in the house, just sitting in the couch and just watching TV. No. I had a routine and I decided to include God in my routine. In the beginning, everything was fine, like Monday to Friday. But when Friday arrived, Friday was pretty much my break day, especially at nights. I could get a bottle of wine and finish. Yes, Pink, Moscato, and Eve. They used to be besties, and we're no longer besties, though. We're not. Mm-mm. But and I used to finish the whole entire bottle. Yes, I used to finish the entire bottle. No one was living with me. And my mom was not there to be like, eat what you doing. And it got to a point where I'm like, damn, what is this? I didn't like to see my grandpa drinking as it was. So at some point I started feeling bad about it. And it wasn't until I noticed that alcohol was getting on the way of my relationship with God, because I could pray and do Bible study and spend time with God Monday to Friday. But the moment I drink, and that is the next day, like on Saturday, I'm not in the mood to talk to God. My routine is usually like I threw it out the window. So like I'm no longer doing that. And I decided to break the cycle. I gave up on alcohol. I decided that I was going to be celibate, which is what exactly I've been until now. And I remove anything that will go against God's word. Anything that will make me regret after 5 minutes and come go the way of my relationship with him. I literally said, enough is enough. No, I am no longer doing this. And I believe there is a reason why God told us to save for marriage. Because why would you create soul ties with so many men that are not meant to be in your life? Why? Why, Eve? Why? Why? So I decided to say enough is enough. If I am going to give that part of myself to someone, is going to be after marriage. And if that never comes, that's fine. I will find fulfillment in other things. It is okay. Um, but making this decision, also taught me how much I was just doing things just for the sake of society. For example, alcohol. It has been 2 years, if I'm not mistaken, since I touched alcohol. And I don't miss it at all. I don't miss it. I started early on when I was probably 14, at home with my family. Started drinking by drinking champagne, and it just got worse as time went by. But at some point, I was just doing it because it's exactly what I've been doing throughout my whole life, and not because I enjoyed it. So I understood that I don't really need alcohol, and I'm not going back to it. Yeah, I'm not going back to it. I don't miss it at all. I don't see a space for alcohol in my life, especially because I enjoy being productive, and alcohol pretty much doesn't help me be productive at all. No. So the benefits, the pros and cons are really not there. So I said, yeah, enough is enough. Since I didn't have a job, I decided to move back to Houston. I decided to go back to Houston just to find myself. I noticed that throughout my years of growing up, I developed people pleaser tendencies. Yes. And that was in friendships. I mean, you would see in friendships or in any type of relationship, and also with myself, because I wasn't comfortable with being who truly I am, and accepting that some people may not be fine with it. So I ended up just doing whatever was fine for people and not for me. So going back to Houston showed me exactly who I was. Like, I learned so much about myself. It kind of reminds me of when Peter literally, when he was lost after Jesus was crucified. Peter went back to fishing because he didn't know what else to do. And that's exactly when Peter found Jesus again. And that's exactly how I felt. Everything just fell in place. I was fine with, I still am, I still am fine with losing friends if they are crossing boundaries, if I am not receiving the respect that I need. I started being fine with accepting people for who they truly are and not painting this picture and believing them the first time. Yes, the first time. Do not miss the first time. But I pretty much started believing them the first time and seeing them for who they truly are. And I was fine with just having God. Yeah, I was fine with just having God. Everything was fine because I had Him. So, yeah. Since I didn't have anything to do, for some reason, God told me to go back to Stay Positive. As I said, I started coding Stay Positive. I mean, the first version that I coded was pretty much a school project. But this time it was different. I already knew what I wanted, what exactly I wanted from it. So I put a team together. I reached out to communities, and I just started discussing with my vision with people that could join the organization and just be part of the movement. Anyone. Initially, we were 22, if I'm not mistaken, and now we are down to probably 15. It's the number kind of goes up and down, because when life starts getting, difficult, people tend to just move away from it, which is completely fine. Not everyone is meant to be in this mission with me. And one thing that stunned me is who's starting with you may not be at the finish line with you. And you have to let them go and accept. Because at some point, we as human beings, we grow. And what we were doing in the past may not resonate with the human version that we are today. So which is completely fine. And it's part of the process, so just accept that. And as I was doing Stay Positive, putting everything together, I was just getting confirmation after confirmation. And that's when I know, like, I'm doing the right thing. So I ended up getting my job back. Yes, the first job. My relationship with God was very stable. I moved out of Houston again and moved again for the new job. And since I had started, I was doing stuff on summer break. Yes, I had a summer break. It was very much indeed needing. Yes, I was laid off, but that break it was perfect. I got accepted to a Bloomberg fellowship program, and in the end of the fellowship program, you have a chance to go visit the Bloomberg campus. Bloomberg is one of the companies that I would love to work for. I love the fact that they are providing everything for people that are interested in investment in financial markets. I love that idea. And I love the culture. It's very chill. There are people that are working there for 20 years or something, and that really says something about the company. People are very comfortable. The vibe from just being there was amazing. So when I came back, I got back with a sponsorship from Bloomberg. And I started wondering, what am I going to do with it? So God told me, you can start wearing to work. Like, you see people wearing the company's sweatshirt to work. And this is one of the companies that you would love to work for. So why not just wear it? You are manifesting it into existence. Right? So I started wearing it, and it got to a point where I asked myself, I wanted to buy for my team. So I started just trying out vendors, and I wore it to work once. And that's when Jasmine saw it, and she asked me, "Where did I buy it?" And I'm like, "Oh, I only did this for my team." But when I went home, actually, God told me that I should have the store just available for everyone. We live in a world of so much negativity, and we never know what stay positive can do in your life. Like you can be going through so much that day, that just seeing stay positive can brighten your day. So I launched the store, and it's right there available for everyone. In addition to that, launching the store, I was coding. I was putting that together, and I think it was 2 weeks ago when I saw the state of the Android app. I'm just like, this looks amazing. We have come a long way. I was just proud of everything that I endured throughout the years, and the life was bringing into my life. Then life was throwing at me because at some point you have to start seeing it as it is for you and not to you. Um, so to end, I would say that the layoff was not really that finish line. It was pretty much just probably God calling me back to Him and just telling me that um, I need to be connected to the branch to continue receiving the blessings and to walk with Him, because in a way, the branch is going to grow. If it's not connected to the vine, it needs to be connected to the vine. So it was okay that I had to go through that, and everything is fine because my relationship with God is just this. We are that close. There are definitely moments in which it's an up and down, but it is okay. One thing that I learned this year is that I need to not be busy for God, but be busy for all the other things, because He's the one who's providing above all. So, to end, don't see whatever is happening in your life as